This is the bloodline Arthur descended from, along with the line of Igerna through the Delacs. Yes, as in Lancelot of the Lake. Igerna Delac was the daughter of Vivian I, the dynastic queen of Avalon. Could this be the Avalon mentioned in Geoffrey of Monmouth's work? King Arthur. Yep, we're going there. Was he an actual king, or was he a fanciful myth? The idea of King Arthur has captivated imaginations for centuries. Rooted in medieval legends and chronicled by various authors, Wolfram von Aschenbach, Chrétien de Troyes, Geoffrey of Monmouth, Lord Tennyson, Thomas Malory, T.H. White, and many, many more. Von Eschenbach's version of Arthurian legend aligns with Templar tradition, presenting an Arthur as a figure intertwined with both the ideals and the mysteries of the Templar order. Wolfram von Eschenbach was indeed a member of the Knights Templar. In Parsifal, Wolfram portrays the Grail Castle as a center of spiritual and earthly power, guarded by the Grail King and his knights. The concept of the Grail itself has been interpreted in various ways, including as a symbol of divine wisdom, or a vessel of mystical power, or a bloodline. The Sangreal, or royal blood. But a bloodline? A bloodline of who? This will not be a forum for the Da Vinci Code. Although Da Vinci, Michelangelo, and Botticelli were all Grand Masters of a secret order. No. What Dan Brown did was to bring to light what Europeans have known for centuries. Did you know the Church didn't outlaw Grail worship until the 15th century? Well, what in the world does a bloodline have to do with King Arthur? Let's look beyond. Any talk of a bloodline certainly doesn't begin with the concept of a marriage between Yeshua, Jesus, and Miriam de Magdala, Mary Magdalene. Have you ever wondered why every holiday season we sing carols celebrating our newborn King, or born is the King of Israel? It's because Yeshua was a king, the king of the Jewish people. Both his father Joseph and mother Mary were descended from the royal house of King David, which made Yeshua a Pendragon, the king of kings, the chief of chiefs, if you will, from two bloodlines into one. The dragon, or serpent, has always symbolized wisdom, knowledge, or a bloodline. You'll find it all over the planet, on every continent. The symbol of the dragon is also a representation of the Mesa, of the holy crocodile. All of the ancient kings of Mesopotamia and early pharaohs of Egypt were anointed with the oil from the fat of the Mesa, the derivative of Messiah, or Anointed One. And we also see this symbol of wisdom every day. So what does all this have to do with Arthur? Well, apparently scholars have been looking for him in Britain. He was indeed a Scot. He was the son of Aidan of Dalriada, the Pendragon. Aidan became king of the Scots in 574 and was the first British king to be crowned by St. Columba, head of the Celtic Church. There never was an Uther Pendragon. Arthur, from the Irish Artur, was born in 559 and died in battle 603. His history and battles run throughout the chronicles of the Celts, the Picts, and the Scots. His mother, Igerna de Lac, or Igraine, was a descendant from the Despozzini bloodline of Yeshua. His father, Aidan, was a descendant of the line from Joseph of Arimathea, Yeshua's own brother, James. That's right, the Apostle James the Just. Now, before we get ahead of ourselves, the Despozzini were the descendants of Yeshua, who were rounded up and persecuted after they were told they were to be written out of the official narrative. Despozzini is Greek for heirs of the Lord. 2,000 years ago, there was, and still is, no such place as Arimathea. It is simply a mashed-up translation of Ramatheo, which means Royal Highness or Crown Prince. And Joseph? It was like Mary or Miriam. Not so much a name, but a title. Ever wonder why there's so many Josephs and Marys in the Bible? Joseph meant the next in a dynastic line, or crown prince. Josephs always had to wed a Miriam or Mary, who was a holy priestess or belonging to a sacred order. It was Yeshua's brother, James, Joseph of Arimathea, who built the first church in Glastonbury, England, in the year 63. This is the bloodline Arthur descended from, along with the line of Igerna, through the Delacs. Yes, as in Lancelot, of the lake. Igerna Delac was the daughter of Vivian I, the dynastic queen of Avalon. Could this be the Avalon mentioned in Geoffrey of Monmouth's work? Unfortunately, Geoffrey's account is filled with fluff, as he was paid by the Normans to link Arthur to British history, and the heads of the church at Glastonbury were always discovering new relics pertaining to Arthur. But still, this indeed could be the Isle of Avalon. By the way, Merlin was evidently a title as well. It referred to the seer to the king. The Merlin current in Arthur's time was Emrys of Powys. Arthur was married to Guinevere of Brittany. Now, that sounds familiar. Let's look at Arthur's half-sister, Morgane. Morgane, or Morgana, Morgan Le Fay, was the daughter of Igerne and the Duke of Carlisle. Morgane was a holy sister of Avalon and a Celtic high priestess. As far as her relationship with Arthur and their child, Mordred, later romances in the Christian era would paint her as a sorceress or a witch, thereby tricking Arthur to lie with her. Here's something religions don't want to discuss. Since the beginning of civilization, royals procreated with their siblings, half-siblings, or first cousins to keep the bloodline pure. And it was not only allowed, it was expected. Well, we couldn't have that, could we? So Morgane suffered the same fate as all the other women in Christianity, that of witches, whores, and sorceresses. In the end, Arthur became obsessed with Roman Christianity and lost the faith of the Celtic people. It was Mordred who became the favorite of the Celts, for he was the new Pendragon. Arthur and his son Mordred died in the Battle of Camlanna in 603. King Aidan survived the Battle of Camlanna and died in 608, succeeded by his youngest son. Arthur never became a king, but he walked on this earth and was a true Pendragon. Always look beyond.